Good evening, folks, and a very, very warm welcome. It's an absolute pleasure to be here with you tonight for the Geelong Region Soccer Show. My name's Tonchi Prusak, and I will be with you for the next 60 minutes or so. We've got a great show lined up tonight, and as we edge closer to the business end of the 2024 winter season, next week being the catch-up round, next week we will take a break strategically, because after that we've got 4 rounds to go, or 4 weeks to go, of our show this year to make it 25 episodes, a nice round 25 episode figure. And our final show will then come out on the first Monday, of September, leading into the final round of the Football Victoria Metropolitan competitions. Big news, that will be our 150th episode. So a massive, massive show being planned on that day. What we've got in store at the moment, I couldn't tell you because we're still working through that. But there will be reunions, there will be live guests, there will be a live show. And I can say we'll probably go for a 2-hour season finale. But until then, we've got lots of football to get through. And tonight, we've got some absolutely fantastic guests as well. We've got DENIS HOLTGREFE. He's the senior coach, the head coach of the senior men's team at Surf Coast Football Club. And it's the Coasters juggernaut just seems to be edging closer and closer to the State League 4 title. We'll be talking to DENIS tonight about his team's chances, very good chances of securing the title and promotion into next season's Men's State 3 competition. On the weekend, they dispatched of Barwon 8-1 in a local derby, very one-sided local derby. We've got some extended highlights of that as well. We're also going to be speaking to Raymond Wood. Ray is very well known to viewers of the Geelong Region Soccer Show. His Euro Football Star organisation was the major sponsor last year of this show when it was known as the Game of Two Halves. He's been very, very busy over the last 12 months developing his business, as well as releasing a new book, The Professional Player Pathway. We'll be talking to that. Now, if you are a parent of a talented young footballer, if you are a young footballer who's heading down the elite pathway and would like to one day make something of football as far as being a professional, you don't want to miss tonight's show and the chat with Ray Wood a little bit later on in the show. Fantastic book. I've had the privilege of reading this over the last week or so, and it's like a handbook, and it actually says more than just the technical manual. This is a manifesto for all players, parents and coaches who believe their dreams really are achievable. That's coming on later in the show. And of course, we've always got the news desk, lots to get through. So we're going to take a very quick, short break. A couple of words from our major sponsor, The Gordon. Thank you very, very much to everyone associated with The Gordon who have been a big, big supporter of our show, not just this year, but also last year as well. And thanks to them, we are able to see out 25 episodes this year. Tonight is episode 21 for 2024.
Your future is in your hands. There is a whole world waiting for you, and your choices determine how you will impact it. At The Gordon, we recognise this. That's why we champion hands-on learning. Get your hands dirty. Grab what's in front of you. Learn by doing. Turn your passion, your ideas, and mould them into your creations. You'll be supported the entire way. You'll grow your skills in small classes, guided by teachers who are industry experts. You'll learn in state-of-the-art facilities or out in a real-world workplace setting. Your hands-on experience will increase your understanding and put you ahead of your university peers. You'll graduate work-ready, and you'll graduate sooner, with a huge range of qualifications to choose from and support services to enable your success. Now is the time to continue your learning journey. At The Gordon, your future is in your hands.
back to the Geelong Region Soccer Show. It is indeed time for the news desk. Folks, before we get into the news desk, in the chat section, let us know where you're tuning in. Let us know who you support. We'd love to know a little bit more about our viewership as well. But let's start, as we usually do, with our media watch and what is making what is football doing in the media. Here we go. First of all, we'll have a look at last weekend's papers. This was on the Friday and on the Saturday. So we've got Geelong defender, in Friday's edition, Geelong defender Zach secures Macedonian move. So that was a big bit of news coming out of Stead Park. On Saturday, North Geelong urges fans to keep the faith despite suffering relegation. North Geelong coaches and officials were saying it has been a positive year, at least in the youth development sphere. And in today's Geelong Advertiser as well, it all seems to be in the Geelong Advertiser. We had, for whatever reason, that doesn't seem to be working, does it? No, it doesn't. But recently, last Tuesday, also in the Geelong Advertiser, look at that. In the junior sports section, there was a 2.5-page spread. Firstly, girls spot on in Cup Thriller, which we featured in last week's edition as well. A girls team that came up and did very, very well in the Keilor Cup. And then Warriors win in tight affair. North Geelong Warriors against Bell Park. It was the under-15 community competition as well. So a lot of local coverage in the Geelong Advertiser. From what I could see, not much, if anything, in the Geelong Times or the Geelong Independent this week or other media publications. But if you do come across publications in your local community papers, do send us an email. Send us a private message via our Facebook page. We'd love to know a bit more. Alrighty, here we go. We've got the Victorian Premier League and the Victorian Premier League Women's. Over the weekend, Kingston City defeated North Geelong Warriors 3-2 in effectively what is now a dead rubber for North Geelong. Nicholas Vlahovic and Cassian Angel scoring the goals for the Warriors. The Warriors have already been relegated to next year's VPLW competition, so they may be using these final few games as an opportunity to blood even more youngsters in the senior men's team. Obviously, no game this weekend. It's a catch-up fixture, but North Geelong will be in action for their final home game of the 2024 season on Saturday, August the 10th. They take on Caroline Springs George Cross, who are placed 8th at Alco Park. And I do believe that this game will be live streamed, I'm told. Also, in the Women's Victorian Premier League competition, this was an important game for Geelong Galaxy. They needed to defeat South Yarra to ensure that they were safe from relegation, and that they managed to do. And it was a fantastic 6-0 win over South Yarra. Ogaki scoring 2 goals. Then we had Yamamoto scoring 2, Nunn 1, and Ensor scoring 1 goal as well. The Galaxy will be in action against top team KC Comets in about 2 weeks' time at Comet Stadium. That's going to be a tough game indeed. We've got some extended highlights here courtesy of Geelong Galaxy, and thank you to Branko Krastevsky for sending this footage through earlier today. Here's a highlights package, an extended highlights package of Galaxy's 6-0 win over the weekend. Your commentator is local boy Joey Giacomozzo.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this Sunday afternoon clash, round 17 clash here at Hume Reserve. Opposing fullback of Genia of Ram. Well, South Yarra now have a bit of problems on their hands. Gina Goal looking to play the pass. She plays it to Yamamoto. Oh, just out wide and as far as Mona Enzor. Mona Enzor now looks for the early delivery. Oh, what? Brooke Nunn in front of goal now. What will she do? She plays it to Namiki Yamamoto. Yamamoto plays it back to Emily Tanaka. And Phoebe Vivian, number 50, with the strike. But out for a corner. Over the ball, top delivered by Emily Girolamo. Gina Goal looking to combine with Phoebe Vivian. Phoebe Vivian now looking to try and overlap and make a ball. Cross the ball into the box. Oh, and what a chance for Isabella Arredondo. Kelsey Lyle back to Sophie Milton, looking to try and take on Emily Tanaka. And a great save and a great catch by Diana Botalico, the former Burundara shot stopper. You have to watch out for this threat of Kelsey Lyle. Her pace is very menacing, and when she looks to get in behind, she knows how to position her body well and get inside the spaces. Emily Tanaka on the ball now, looking to play it over the top for Gina Goal. Gina Goal now 1 versus 1. Now she's out wide. She looks to go 1v1. She looks to shoot. Oh, what a goal. Mouth scramble. Akiko Agaki was able to get... Looking now. Namiki Yamamoto with the pressing trigger. She shoots and she scores. What a goal for Namiki Yamamoto. She triggered that press, was able to go 1 versus 1 and unleash a thunderbolt into the goal for Geelong Galaxy. Now. Emily Tanaka in possession of the ball, playing it very smartly, very crucially to Isabella Arredondo. She can now make up for her chance. Gina Goal looking to go one way, looking to go another way. Looking to play that ball wide to Mona Enzor. Mona Enzor, time to whip the ball across, and what a strike from Mona Enzor. What looked like it was going to be a cross. Mona aimed that ball. Another thunderbolt into that top corner. It is Geelong Galaxy 2, South Yarra 0. Goal kick delivered, but Isabella Arredondo with the great pressing trigger. Ogaki looking to play it for Gina Goal. Gina Goal shoots! Oh, wow. What a save from Amber Hart. That's what happens, I guess, in these tough games, in these tough conditions, cold conditions. Enzor plays the ball now to Arredondo. Arredondo now has escaped her marker. Great delivery through, and the third goal for Geelong Galaxy. A great delivery into the box, and Akiko Ogaki, the Japanese sharpshooter, there to header it in. Plays it for for Gina Goal. Gina Goal goes one way. Gina Goal goes another way. Can she weave herself out of trouble? Hopefully, for her hard work, she scores, and over the bar. Tries to intercept the header from Emily Tanaka. Emily Tanaka missed out, unfortunately. Now Gina Goal will be on that ball. She's looking to take on one, looks to take on another. She looks to go left and right. But Yamamoto will look to try and craft a ball for her. Now Gina Goal goes one way. She spins herself out of trouble one way. She plays the ball into the box for Yamamoto! Another thunderbolt for Yamamoto, set up by Gina Goal. She may not have had a goal yet, but her time is coming, and what a great thunderbolt, which slipped out of the hand. Look to try and play that ball over the top. But now Gina Goal looking to play that ball over. What a great ball for Alicia Collins. She's peeled away from Sammy Tigger. Will she deliver the final blow today? Oh, and what a goal for Akiko Ogaki for her second goal of the game. A nice ball played across the... Emily Rubin now, wide on that right wing, delivers the ball. What a catch, what a save by Diana Botalico. Akiko Ogaki playing on that ball out wide. She plays it to the Japanese maestro. The Japanese maestro aims for Gina Goal. Will she finally have that well-deserved goal that she craves? And yes, she does! Gina Goal gets her first goal in Galaxy colours. Well-timed ball by Namiki Yamamoto, but the experience and the poise and the skill of Gina Goal in front of goal with a nice taken shot. Rifled Gina Goal and Penny Sebastian looking to press, but now the press has worked out. And will she shoot? Oh, and it hits the crossbar. Will Collins be able to take the rebound? Full time here at Hume Reserve in this round 17 clash. It is Geelong Galaxy 6, South Yarra 0. What a game it was in the early stages. Very physical battle. Both teams looking to try and get the cobwebs out, but Geelong Galaxy were never troubled. Always were able to play their football.
There you go. A very, very excitable Joey G at the microphone. All right, let's move along. Let's look at the ladder of the VPLW competition. And as we can see, Galaxy have moved quite to safety with 5 games to go. They've got they're relatively safe from the relegation zone. Unfortunately, a lot of clubs in Geelong at the moment are struggling with being in that relegation zone. On the weekend, if we have a look at some of the games, some of the scores, so some big wins, but nonetheless, unfortunately for some of them, it still doesn't get them out of the relegation battle. Clifton Hill and Geelong, that game was postponed, unfortunately, for Geelong, but we will talk about that very, very shortly. There's some good news on the horizon for the Lions. Corio travelled to bottom side Strathmore and a smashing 6-1 victory over last place Strathmore. But unfortunately, it still leaves Corio in second last spot. Now, we will go through the ladders very, very shortly, but we'll have a look at the goal scorers. Angus Chapman scoring 2 goals, Cameron Lee 2, Spasojevic 1, and Nogla 1. So if we have a look at the ladder there, as we can see, Geelong are in third position, but they've got a game in hand. Now, both Whittlesea United and Brimbank Stallions drew their games, so they dropped points. That's very important. Geelong will take on Clifton Hill in coming weeks. And if they can get a victory there, they will be on 32 points, clear second, and that's 2 points clear of Brimbank Stallions, and just 3 points behind the leaders, Whittlesea United, although Whittlesea United have got a very, very good goal difference. At the other end of the competition standings, Corio are still in the relegation zone, but they're only 1 point behind Western Suburbs and Clifton Hill and Upfield. So 3 teams have got 1 point ahead of Corio, so that's big news there. And Yarraville as well are only 2 points ahead. So a couple of good results for Corio will see them possibly jump to mid-table. But the important thing is that they do avoid that relegation zone. That's the absolute important thing here. So if we then move back to the results, Geelong Rangers, their game against Mill Park was postponed. Also because of rain. So if we have a look at the ladder there for the Geelong Rangers, they are in second last spot. Now, they're 3 points ahead of Hoppers Crossing, but more concerningly, they're 5 points behind, 7 points, in fact, behind Craigieburn City. 6 games left, and there is talk that Geelong Rangers possibly could play Mill Park in the catch-up game next Monday night. That's still to be determined. Football Victoria on their website at the moment is saying the game will be this Saturday, but Mill Park are playing a catch-up game on Thursday. So it's unlikely that game will go ahead on Saturday. There is talk, I have heard, unconfirmed, that Rangers will try and get their game played on Monday night, possibly at a neutral venue. But that will be confirmed, I guess, in coming days. Moving along to State 4, this is where all the action was, definitely where all the action was. If we have a look at Bell Park, very valuable away win to Melbourne City, 3-2. Stosic, Vrbovac and Miguel Hernandez scoring for Bell Park. Now, those 3 valuable points have given Bell Park a little bit of a respite, but they're still they're not in the relegation zone, but they're certainly hovering dangerously close to that. Surf Coast defeated Bowen 8-1. Kuriyanagi scoring 4 goals. That's 7 goals in the last 3 games. Milton Bailey scoring 2 goals against his old side. Harris scoring 1 goal and an own goal. For Bowen, Christian Davis was the only one that scored for the Blue and Whites. So if we then have a look at the ladder there, in State 4, Surf Coast doing very well at the moment. They are really, really doing exceptionally well in that competition as far as that is concerned. So if we have a look there, they've opened up a 9-point gap. So previously they had an 8-point lead, but Keilor Wolves, the second place team, they drew against Balmoral, and that allowed Melton Phoenix to now jump into second spot. and they now are on 39 points, 9 points behind Surf Coast. But look at the goal difference there. Massive goal difference. Surf Coast at the moment, plus 55. No one can catch them in that regard. So that's very valuable with 5 games to go. Effectively, Surf Coast needs 2 wins, and they'll do it. 2 wins out of the next 5 games, that's all they need to do. At the other end of the competition standings, Barwon, Bell Park, well, they're in 9th and 10th positions. Bell Park at the moment 3 points clear of Barnstoneworth, who are in the second last spot, and a better goal difference, and that's the key there. However, anything can change. Like I said, we've got 5 games to go. That's 15 points. Anything is possible there. So still a lot of football left in the 2024 season. If we turn our attention now to State League 5, well, Lara United have suffered their second consecutive loss, going down to Maidstone United 3-4. Speaking to Eric Lawrence, the Lara United coach, they lost Connor McGrath with an ACL, their captain. They've also lost Jaden, the goalkeeper, first choice goalkeeper as well. And on the weekend, they dominated proceedings, just couldn't get over the line, but losing 4-3 against Maidstone United. McGrath scoring a goal, Tristan McGrath, that is Joel Matuch and Marcus Lindeberg for Lara United. But they're still very much in control of proceedings at the moment. But yes, they will need to start picking up points. And Lara is the same as Surf Coast. They probably need just 2 wins and they will confirm a spot in next season's State League 4. Deakin Ducks are looking very good as well. They're picking up points. Allen and White scoring for the Ducks as they defeated Spring Hills 2-1 away. And Ocean Grove, courtesy of goals by Favetta and Powell, they managed to draw against the ETA Buffalo side. Now, if we're going to have a quick look at the ladder now, so Lara United sitting pretty on top at the moment. They've got a pretty handy gap at the moment from Deakin University as well. There's 4 games to go, including buys as well. So at the moment, Deakin still looking, Lara, 10 points ahead of Gisborne, the third place team. They're currently, 9 points ahead of Deakin. So they're looking good for promotion, and they're certainly looking good for capturing the title. But in the very last game of the season, Lara does have a bye. So take that into account as well. Deakin University cannot afford to drop any points because Gisborne are hot on their heels, and Ocean Grove will likely finish in last position. If we turn our attention now to Women's State League on the weekend, North Geelong came up against top team Avondale FC. Good performance against a very, very good team, eventually going down 3-1. And the highlight of this game was 16-year-old Maya Jurkovic scoring her maiden goal for the Warriors. And she comes from a very strong line of local footballers, the Jurkovic brothers, Nicola, who is in Melbourne, and Luca and Crescio currently at Surf Coast Senior Men's as well. So there's a catch-up game this weekend, North Geelong taking on Fawkner, and that game will be played at Alco Park. North Geelong currently in 4th position, so we'll have a quick look at the ladder there. They've dropped to 5th, in fact, after last week's game, but they do have a game in hand, and they could quite easily jump up to 3rd spot. Promotion, still a possibility, highly unlikely though, with the run home and certainly Mill Park just having a better goal difference and certainly a little bit too far away at the moment. Let's have a look at the last one, the Women's State League, and that's State League 2. Geelong Rangers put up a very good fight against competition leaders Westgate, eventually going down 2-0. They won't be in action until Sunday, August the 11th, when they host 5th-placed Altona East Phoenix. And we'll have a quick look at the ladder in State League 2. Rangers, well, look, they're still not far from that relegation zone, but at the moment there's talk of only one team getting relegated from State League 2 because it's an uneven competition this year, so they may well be safe from relegation in that regard. Okay, looks like before we go, well, let's have a quick look at the local competition as well. And that is the men's Division 1 ladder. We won't go through all the results because we are running a little bit behind, but Bell Park still on top, just from Armstrong United. And as we said, last year's grand finalists, dominating the local competition again this year. Surf Coast and Bowen making up the top 4. In Geelong Women's Division 1, Barwon are doing very well, as are the Deakin Ducks. They're both on 21 points. Bell Park on 20. And then there's a bit of a gap. And then we see Ocean Grove making up the top 4 with 15 points at the moment. So well done to all of those teams who are doing very, very well in the top 4 competition, in the top 4 of the top competition in the local division. Bit of a mouthful, that one. All right, folks, we're going to take a break. When we return, it's time for our first guest. And Raymond Wood, he's a book author. He's been a very experienced youth coach, a professional coach. His own organisation, Euro Football Star, was also the major sponsor of our show last year. And it's going to be fantastic to catch up with Ray and see what he's been up to over the last 12 months. But I can tell you, one of the things that he's been involved in is writing a book, and the Professional Player Pathway has just been released. And we'll be speaking all about that with Ray straight after this break. Folks, don't go away. Welcome back to the Geelong Region Soccer Show. And it's time for our next guest. And The Professional Player Pathway is a book by Raymond Wood, and it says, from grassroots to glory, navigating the pathway to Premier League stardom. And it's are you dreaming of the Premier League, whether you're an aspiring footballer or raising the next generation of talent, Professional Player Pathway is a proven partner on your journey from grassroots to glory. Written by a seasoned expert with over 25 years in the world game, Raymond Wood understands that talent is made, not born. Honing his methods in the English Premier League and through his Professional Player Pathway program, he has now documented the exact strategies that turn aspiring athletes into pro players. And it's an absolute pleasure to welcome Ray Wood to the Geelong Region Soccer Show. Good evening, Ray. How are you?
Hey, Tonsi. How are you? Good to speak to you.
Good, mate. Good. It's an absolute pleasure to have you back on the Geelong show. It's been 12, not 12 months, but about 9. But, mate, you've been a very, very busy beaver. But the book that I'm holding in my hand there, The Professional Player Pathway, as you say, as it's described, it's more than just a technical manual. It's a manifesto for all players, parents and coaches who believe that dreams really are achievable. You can go from club soccer to the pinnacle of professional football, and it all starts with this book. Mate, congratulations, first of all, on the book. Tell us the process. How did you sort of decide on the idea of it, and how did it come about?
It was basically listening to the complaints department of mums and dads and players around Australia, the USA, and it made me aware that obviously working in a professional game, we've got all the knowledge and we know how to develop players, but there's a lot of parents out there and a lot of players who don't know how to develop themselves and also are not aware what the pathway is. And a lot of people just trust upon the federation, maybe the FFA or whichever country you're in, to follow that system. And as you know, as well as everyone, it's sometimes that's not the best way. And I decided that I need to put it down and I need to write it. So I started writing the book in 2021. And I completed it at the beginning of this year. So it took me just over 3 years to put together. Mm-hmm. But I wanted it to be a manifest for mums and dads, whether the players are 6 or 7 just starting the journey, or, you know, you've got some of the talented youngsters who are already playing MPL or A-League or Women's League football in Australia, but want to know how to get to Europe and how to get picked up by the clubs. And I literally looked into every single complaint and every single issue that parents were giving me over 25 years. And yet we put it all down into a book. So basically this book will give everyone the answer. It doesn't matter whether you're just starting the journey, you're in the middle. We're even working with current professional players. Confidentially, we can't tell you who they are, but players who are playing in the top leagues around the world, male and female, who are about to get moved on to clubs or moved on from clubs, who want that little next step into their career. And I've even had clubs like Liverpool reaching out to me saying, we're releasing players. Can you help our players who we're releasing? Because even though we've got to let them go, we want to maybe give them the best chance at the next club that they go to. So it's been a whirlwind 10 months.
Now, it's interesting the way I've had a read of it, and I'm actually impressed. I really am impressed, and I'm also impressed with the structure of it. It's very easy to follow, but you've got 3 parts. Part 1, which is foundations of football, which is kind of a general thing about football. Part 2, we talk about the 7 pillars of a professional player, which we'll talk about a little bit later on, and that's, I guess, aimed more at the player. And then there's Part 3, which is very good for the parent and provides a lot of good information supporting developing athletes. Tell us a little bit about those 7 pillars, because in your professional player pathway program, you're very clear about the various pillars and the importance of following each of those pillars as well to success.
Yeah, it all come from me seeing a lot of very talented players. And, I've been to Geelong many times, and it's like, I'll give you an example. Like, there was 2 female players we seen over 18 months ago, Lucy Simic and Evie Stosic. And to see those girls, you understand the level they're at and how good they are, but you understand as well, if someone doesn't help them and get them onto the pathway, with all due respect, they're probably going to just stay within the system and within Victoria. And that's okay if that's aspire to, but it's making them realise that that talent's there. So one of the things that was missing for those types of players in local areas around Australia and other parts of the world is not actually understanding the pillars that professional clubs have in place in Europe. So what I done when I built the programme and I built the book, we had 5 pillars when I worked in the Premier League. I decided to make sure that our players from Australia, when they get an opportunity to go across, I don't want them to just be the same as the players in Europe. I want them to be a level above. So we built 7 pillars. So, like, as an example, one of the pillars, I mean, you've read the book, but one of the pillars is match analysis. And the way we do match analysis is completely different than the way anyone else does it. Most clubs who do match analysis, they'll get a recording of a game. They will actually show the video back to the team as a group. And the coach normally will give his subjective opinions on the game, on how he thought they done well, how they thought they could do better. And then within his ideology, try and impress on the boys or the girls how they should be playing in the next game. What we done was in the Premier League, when I worked on this huge project called the EPPP, we spent £1.6 billion to date on the project. And what we ascertained was that we needed to drill down to the individual. And that match analysis is one of our first core pillars, is actually drilling down in the match analysis and to pull out the objectives within that match analysis. So one individual match analysis, which could take maybe an hour to do with the player, can actually give a player up to 2.5 years worth of objectives and work to follow in the game. And once they start improving on the objectives, the development and the rate that they develop it's so scary.
Yeah, well, that's one of the player pillars. We'll go through them all. Actually, the first one, the football plan and an online portal. Now, this is crucial because, as we all know, in life, in business, in absolutely everything, if you don't have a plan, you're almost destined to fail, aren't you? And there's one I think on one of the pages you said something about the clubs on page 40. I think clubs don't focus on a strategy like this because they don't have a roadmap or plan. It's a perfect example of the saying, fail to prepare and prepare to fail in action. And it's a common theme around the globe, sadly more so in Australia and the USA. How important is having a good football plan for players wanting to succeed?
It's so important, and you know it as well, Tonsi, having a family. It's so hard when you've got kids,
Yeah.
and to try and keep track of everything. And if you've got more than one kid, it's so hard, and that's where I understand why a lot of parents just don't even go down the route. So I thought we need to make sure that with this portal and the way technology and devices and kids are in general now, it's all online. The players can do it themselves, whether they're 8 years of age or 23, they can all do it themselves. And this is one of the really important pieces to the puzzle that I said for me was the pillar number one, was having the football plan, because we could drag all the data into the football plan and the player's got one place to view it all and knows what the next step is. And it's all about keeping it simple as well, because this is the problem in Australia. We're seeing it in the USA now in the fallout with like the USA men's team not making the Copa America, not getting out the group stages. We wonder why in USA and Australia is the biggest participated sport in both countries is soccer, but they are a million miles away from being the most successful.
And which brings us to the next point and talking about having that competitive edge. Pillar number 3, nutrition and DNA testing. Now, the nutrition bit, I think we all take it for granted sometimes, especially in a country like Australia where there isn't shortage of food and we can eat sometimes too much food and a lot of unhealthy food. And, you know, usually straight after a game or after a training session, you do the Macca's run and it almost becomes part of tradition of that junk food. But we're talking now players going down the elite pathway and the importance of good nutrition for, obviously for performance, but also for recovery. And then the DNA testing. Tell us a little bit more about that.
So about 15, 16 years ago, they started to add it into certain players within the Premier League. But the problem with it was very expensive at the time. It was about $10,000 Australian. And what it was, they actually take a sample of the player's hair. They send it off to be tested. And again, it's an individualized test. So what it does, it tells you exactly what your body can tolerate and what it can't tolerate. Now, a lot of people think, well, if Tonsi's got it done, then his daughter or son doesn't need to get it done because the DNA is the same, and it's not. The DNA is completely different. So what it does is, there was a couple of reasons why it was so beneficial. What we discovered was, it's like if you've got a car and it takes petrol, if you put diesel in the car, it's not going to work at all. And exactly the same with the human body. So we actually went away and explored introducing this into the professional player pathway. We looked at it. We looked at the costs. We got scholarships and sponsorship, and we've managed to add it in. Now, what it does is when you get the test results back, all your foods, all your drinks, it's actually collated within a 100-kilometre radius of where you live. So it's actually tested against foods and drinks in your local area. So as an example, on my test, anything that come up in black was okay for me to eat and drink. Anything was red was a warning. So some of the things that come up from me was cheese, milk, white bread, bacon, duck. There was a whole host of different things. Now, the reason why this is important, because what it does is these foods cause an intolerance in my system. And when it causes an intolerance, it causes inflammation. And what that does is inflammation can lead to micro tears. It can then go on to lead into things like ACLs. What we discovered in Europe was once these tests were implemented, injuries like ACLs dropped by 30% because we knew players weren't getting the wrong fuel, they were getting the right fuel. Also, one of the big things that really helped was recovery, because when you go to bed, normally the first process your body does is doing all the digestion of the food to then start to try and recover your body. Now, if it's digesting food it doesn't want and drink it doesn't want, then it's wasting a lot of time and you mightn't be recovered when you wake up in the morning. The beauty of this intolerance DNA test, we know for a fact if the players follow what we tell them from the results, their bodies are already recovering before they've even hit the bed in the evening.
There you go. Amazing stuff. And this is all part of this book. And as we go through some of the other seven pillars. There's monthly Zoom meetings. There's recommendations. There's advice for trials as well. The use of GPS trackers and how important they are. But there's a part of the book towards the end where you've got book recommendations and summaries. And you've done a lot of personal development, business development yourself, right? And it's reflected in this book. And some of the books that you refer to, of course, the one of the greatest books as far as personal development, The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. And you also take away key takeaways. But one of the pillars, in fact, is called The Secret. Are you going to let us in on the secret?
Yeah. What we done was on the project, basically in 2011, the Premier League and the English FA wanted to know why, in a nutshell, why England were rubbish and why we weren't winning trophies and why we weren't producing world-class superstars. We set up this project called the EPPP, and we went out and got seconded on study visits all around the world to South America, Europe, France, Spain, you name it. What we done was we collated about 1,600 pages of data of what we found was the magic recipe to make it as a professional football player. I have actually then spent probably a year and a half putting that data into an 11-page document called The Secret. So anyone who signs up to this project, the Professional Player Pathway, they actually get a copy of The Secret document. And it is like literally the Bible to develop yourself into a superstar.
Excellent, amazing. As I said, there's a wealth of information here, and even things like the importance of making sport fun for kids, pitfalls of pushing them too hard, training how many hours is enough. And there's all these various theories there as well. But also, like we mentioned, apart from all those 7 pillars, there's book recommendations. There's so much information contained in this. As you said, it's not a technical manual. It's a manifesto. And it really, to me, is like a real good footballing handbook for anyone that wants their kid or a talented child to progress down the elite pathway. But mate, we've run out of time. Unfortunately, we're going to have to leave it there. But how can people get their hands on this book and find out more details about the programs that you offer?
So they can go to our website, which is proplayerpathway.com.
Mm-hmm.
We've also got another website, eurofootballstar.com, and they can even drop us an email to service@eurofootballstar.com, and hopefully you guys will drop it in the show notes for everyone as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll pop that in the chat section there as well, and we'll also pop it on our social medias as well. But mate, fantastic. Is that book available on the online booksellers like Amazon and things like that, or will they eventually be?
So if they go to the proplayerpathway.com, we're actually selling it ourselves separately.
So straight to proplayerpathway.com and you can get it there.
Yeah, because there's a heap of stuff that's provided with the book as well, a heap of value add that we've added in the book as well. And everyone who goes to that Pro Player Pathway website will see it all.
Yep. So we'll have that. It's www.proplayerpathway.com, and you can get all the information there. You can buy the book. It's certainly absolutely value for money. That's for sure.
Thanks, Tonsi.
Good on you, mate. Thank you very much. That was Ray Wood, author of The Professional Player Pathway. I've personally had a chance to read it over the last week, and it is valuable information for any young player that wants to really take their football seriously, and for any parent, especially for any parent who's got a very, very talented child. And I tell you what, we've got incredible talent here in Geelong, that's for sure. Also, over the next, we've raised just. I'll bring Ray back on, and he will actually announce something very. Sorry, Ray, we're about to send you off, but you're going to announce something very, very special just for tonight.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is, guys, the book's actually valued at $197 because it's got about $10,000 worth of other value-add programs and a free online program that you can follow with the book. We're actually going to give Tonsi and everyone who's watching an opportunity. We're going to give away 5 copies. All you've got to do to win one of the 5 copies is comment why you deserve to get a copy of this book and what you would like to do in your football career. And Tonsi and the team will pick out the 5 winners and we'll get them all posted off to you.
So email us there, communitysportsmedia@gmail.com. That's communitysportsmedia@gmail.com. And as we said, so answer those 2 questions. Ray, what are those questions again?
So rather write in or leave a comment to Tonsi and the team the reason why you should win a copy of the Pro Player Pathway book, and also tell us a little bit about your dream or vision in football and how far you want to go.
There you go. The 5 that we deem to be the winners, they will receive a free copy of the Professional Player Pathway program. Ray, thank you so much for all your support, and thank you so much for coming on the show tonight.
Cheers, guys. Have a great night.
Good on you. All right, folks. Well, there you have it. We've got 5 copies of the Professional Player Pathway to give away to you tonight. Send us an email at communitysportsmedia@gmail.com and we will announce those 5 winners by tomorrow, 8 p.m. by tomorrow night. Don't go away, folks. After this short ad break, we will return with our second guest for tonight, Surf Coast Senior Men's Coach DENIS HOLTGREFE, who'll be speaking to us.
The world is yours. So work hard, and you can have whatever it is you want.
Welcome back to the Geelong Region Soccer Show, and we just heard from Ray Wood, the author of the Professional Player Pathway, a new book that has just come out, and we are giving 5 copies. So email us at communitysportsmedia@gmail.com, or you can send us a private message via our Facebook page. And why would you like to receive the book, and what would you do with what you know in the book as well? Alrighty, it's time now to welcome our second guest for tonight. He is the coach, the senior coach of the men's team at Surf Coast FC, DENIS HOLTGREFE. DENIS, good evening and welcome to the Geelong Region Soccer Show. How are you?
Tonchi, thank you. Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, it's an absolute pleasure, mate. The Surf Coast juggernaut just seems to be going stronger and wilder and crazier, and it just gets closer and closer to capturing the title. But there's still a lot of work to be done. But on the weekend, it was a remarkable result, 8-win against Bowen. Tell us a bit about Saturday's game.
Yeah, absolutely. We thought we played well from the get-go. So obviously the boys know it was a derby, and it takes a lot to win a derby. But the boys showed from the first minute really that they were on, and we played with good composure across the park. We were dominant in most parts, and really started to apply pressure as soon as we sort of scored the first goal. Sort of forced them back, and we were able to score multiple goals obviously in the second half.
Yeah. Now, remarkable performance. At the moment, you've opened up a 9-point gap at the top of the competition standings. But like I said, there's still, 5 games to go. But at the moment, you really need just 2 wins out of the next 5 games to clinch it. But you're not going to be looking at that. You're going to be looking at finishing the season in absolute style. And this week is a catch-up round. Is it going to be a plus or a negative for you that week off?
Oh, look, I think it's not a plus or a negative. We will continue what we've been doing all year. Go to work on Tuesday, follow through on Thursday, and then the lads get a weekend off. But we're going to be ready for the next session Tuesday, Thursday, and then we play away at Barnston Worth. And look, Tonchi, we want to stay humble and stick to what we agreed in November last year when we started preseason, right? We just look at ourselves, look at us and what we want to achieve as a group and how we want to play football. And the lads have been doing that fantastically throughout the year. So full kudos to them.
Now, you on pretty much on the eve of the season, you took over after Ash Dafter had to unfortunately relinquish his position due to work commitments. But you were part of the coaching group there, and Ash was able to give you lots and lots of guidance as well. But I guess on the eve of the season, you've inherited this squad. It was a great squad, and since then you've also added more players. And there's been a lot of quality footballers, a lot of attacking-minded footballers. How are you able to kind of manage it in your own way and to sort of, put the egos at bay and to give everyone sort of that same kind of enthusiasm for what you're trying to achieve?
Look, first and foremost, thank you to Ash, obviously for what he's done for the club, because he really laid the foundation for this senior team to play the type of football that they're playing now. And I guess it's not just one person that is involved and supports successful environments. So from last year, obviously Tom Langman, he's been around with the club for a very long time. He stepped up to assist, and he does so much more for the club as well. But it's just really good to have his leadership there, his experience, and obviously also him buying into what we're doing. But to answer your question, I think it takes a team to kind of motivate individuals within a group to then become a functioning football team. And we're trying to do that by creating a fun and intensive environment on Tuesday and Thursday, and have, definitely seeking to have the highest participation at training that we can have. And, that if that's the case, then we can be assured that the lads are having fun with what they do. And if you are having fun what you're doing, I think you can be successful, and the guys are showing that. Obviously, we had some great recruits. We have amazing people at the club, from Steve Christou, Rob Panetta, Ash Dafter, obviously now being away, but still being able to tap into his network in the local region certainly has helped us to excite those players to come help us play an attractive and attacking football.
Yeah. Now, what on the weekend just gone by, we had the young chap Masamichi, the Japanese import Masamichi Kuroyanagi. I hope I got that right. Scored 4 goals. Now he's on absolute fire. In the last 3 games, he scored 7 goals. Now, John Pykett had been injured for quite a while, but what's his name? Masamichi. Is that right? Masamichi.
Yeah, that's correct.
He's been a more than a able replacement. Luka Jurkovic had also scored quite a fair few goals. Was almost scoring a goal a game as well. So he had multiple goal-scoring avenues, I suppose. And now, after this short break or this week off, John's also going to be coming back. He's going to struggle to get back into the starting lineup, isn't he?
Oh, look, I think, we don't need to talk much about John. He's been amazing for the club. He's had a great career locally, and we're excited to have him back, because it's one thing to have him score multiple goals during a game, but it's also what he brings at training, helping us to grow those young players and inject his experience into the squad, which every single player will benefit from, and ultimately the team. But Masa has been absolutely on fire, and look, he's played a really, really important part this year for us, to just give us the balance between our, I guess, back four and our sort of offensive attacking players across the park, and the way he distributes the ball, and just his speed and his intent in situations is just next level. And he's also an amazing guy, and does a lot of coaching around the club, and everyone really loves him, and we appreciate to have him.
Yeah, no, it's been an incredible season so far. There's still, as we said, a lot of football left there. to go. 9 points clear ahead of second place Melton Phoenix, who jumped into second spot after Keilor Wolves drew on the weekend. So there's obviously going to be that battle for second spot, but also they're going to try and catch you as well. Now, Surf Coast got to second spot last year. That's right, second spot last year, earned the promotion qualification, and then it was just heartbreaking at the very, very end when it came down to penalties at Epping Stadium last year. Is that still haunt the players and the coaching staff from last year? And is that something that also drives you guys to not repeat it and be in second spot, but to make sure that you clinch the title outright?
If anything, Tonchi, I think it just provided extra motivation, right? Lots of the players may not have been in a situation to get really close to promotion before. And having been in that situation has obviously added a huge amount of experience to their career, and to their understanding. And obviously, we were all gutted not to get the final step done.
Yeah.
And obviously there would have been another game to play afterwards. But I think overall it just added value to what we were doing because it showed the guys what's possible. And I must say, everyone from that group that's still around has been working really, really hard. And the experience that they picked up, not making it up to State League 3, is certainly something that they took as motivation. And our captain in particular, Kreso Jokovic, has really taken on the lads and the leadership within the group, and really is asking for hard work at every training session, and the boys are buying in. Absolutely amazing.
I know it's like I said, you want to keep on your focus on the here and now and the job at hand. But have you already sort of started one eye on State 3 and looking at maybe sending a couple of scouts out to watch State League 3 games just to see what you need to be up against come next season, where you'd need to recruit and that kind of stuff? It comes back down to, I suppose, what we talked about with our previous guest, Ray Wood, about the importance of planning in football. But is that something you just haven't got time to do? You've got to focus on the here and now? Or are you sort of starting to dabble in that as well?
Look, I mean, we obviously played Brunswick Zebras. They play up there. They're looking to fight relegation, as well as Leverton being on the other end of the table because they're, going for promotion again. That's the only thing that we really know. I have to have a chat to Tom whether he's had a closer look, but it's not like we're trying to focus on too much else but ourselves. Because at the end of the day, plus it's a process, right? We want to improve, week in, week out, and just focus on delivering a nice, attractive style of football. And we are very confident that if we can do that, success is something that will follow.
Well, mate, we wish you all the very best at the moment. It hasn't been a good year for Geelong clubs overall. They're fighting against relegation more than fighting for promotion. But apart from you guys, Lara and Deakin looking good in State 5, and Geelong are still in with a fight, with a chance in State 1. But we certainly hope that you can get promoted to State 3, because if Bell Park survives, if Deakin and Lara get in, 5 Geelong clubs in one division is going to be way too much. So we need Surf Coast to move up into State 3 to level it out a little bit.
Appreciate it, Tonchi.
Good on you, mate.
We will do all this.
Really appreciate Dennis coming on the show. Wish you all the very best for the remainder of 2024.
Thanks, Tonchi. Appreciate it.
Good on you. DENIS HOLTGREFE, the coach of the senior men's team at Surf Coast. Folks, we're going to take a very, very short break. And when we do return, it'll be time to start wrapping up tonight's action-packed, jam-packed episode of the Geelong Region Soccer Show.
Hi, I'm Joe Gergich.
And I'm Helena Fantella.
And welcome to our family here at Harcourts.
that, folks, almost brings us to the end of tonight's episode. But before we do go, if you would like to be one of 5 recipients of the Professional Player Pathway book, send us an email at communitysportsmedia@gmail.com. It's in the chat section. It's in the comment section. All you need to do is write a short sentence why you deserve the book, and also what is your dream or aspiration in football. So 2 things that you got to do. Very, very simple, short ones. Write a short sentence why you deserve the book, why we should give you the book, and mum or dad can help you out. Or if you're a parent, I'm sure you won't need too much help. And part 2 of that little task, what is your dream or your aspiration in football? And if you're a parent, what is your dream? What is your aspiration for your child? Send that as an email through to us at communitysportsmedia@gmail.com or PM us at our Facebook page. And by tomorrow night at 8 p.m, we will announce the 5 recipients of that book as well. We have got pretty much a catch-up round this weekend, and that's about all that's happening this weekend. Mill Park are scheduled to take on Geelong Rangers. At the moment, it says Saturday, 3 p.m. at Partridge Street Reserve. However, that is likely to change. And North Geelong Warriors women taking on Faulkner at Alco Park this Sunday at 3 p.m. in a Women's State League 1 catch-up game. Folks, that is it for the Geelong Region Soccer Show. Next week, there will be no show. We will be taking a break because of the catch-up round, and it's strategic. We want to finish our final show of the year 1 week before or heading into the final round of the State League matches, and it will also be our 150th show. So today was 146, so we've got another 4 shows to come. I will see you in 2 weeks' time. Thank you very much for being a part of tonight's show. My name is Tonchi Prusak. Good night.